the modern struggle, someone scrolling endlessly through social media on their phone, looking anxious. A person sitting in traffic, looking stressed. Someone buying inexpensive coffee, a new gadget, a pair of shoes, brief smile that quickly fades. A person lying in bed at night, staring at the ceiling, unable to sleep. The anxiety epidemic, are we addicted to distraction? The pursuit of happiness, why are we so bad at it? What if I told you that the answer to the single biggest question of our time, how to be happy, wasn't found in a new app, a new diet, a new productivity hack, or a new self-help book? What if it was written down, in clear and startlingly practical terms, nearly 2,000 years ago? In a world that feels more chaotic, more demanding, and more distracting than ever, we're drowning in advice on how to fix our lives. But what if the problem isn't that we need something new? What if the problem is that we've forgotten something very, very old? This is not a religious text. It's not a cryptic prophecy. It's a philosophy. Operating system for the human mind. And it has one primary goal, to teach us how to be free. How to be resilient. How to be truly, unshakably happy. And today, we're going to uncover its secrets. Introducing the book and the man. So what is this book? It's called The Discourses by Epictetus. And it wasn't even written by him. It was written down by his student, Arian, who was so blown away by his teacher's lessons that he had to preserve them. And Epictetus himself? His story is everything. He was born a slave. His name isn't even a name, it literally means acquired. He was owned by a secretary to the Roman Emperor Nero, a notoriously brutal man. Epictetus was beaten, tortured, and eventually left with a permanent leg injury. He gained his freedom and began teaching philosophy in Rome, until another emperor, Domitian, banished all philosophers from the city because he found their ideas of integrity and freedom inconvenient. So Epictetus, the former slave, the cripple, the exile, set up a school for the children of the wealthy in the backwater town of Nicopolis. And there, he taught a philosophy not of theory, but of daily practice. A philosophy designed for one purpose, to achieve eudaimonia. A Greek word that doesn't just mean happiness as a fleeting feeling. It means human flourishing. A profound sense of fulfillment and purpose. A life lived well, no matter what happens to you. This philosophy is called stoicism. And it's not about suppressing emotion or being a grim, unfeeling robot. It's about mastering your perception so that you are never at the mercy of circumstances. And it all starts with one single, simple, yet radical idea. The core idea, the dichotomy of control. Epictetus begins his entire teaching with this: some things are within our power, while others are not. This is the dichotomy of control. The foundation of everything. The entire secret to happiness, according to the Stoics, is knowing the difference between these two lists and investing your energy only in the first one. Let's break it down. The right column, the things not in our control, is where we spend 99% of our mental energy. We tie our happiness to it. We say, I'll be happy when I get that promotion. Wealth/reputation, I'm miserable because my flight was cancelled. The weather/traffic, I'm so anxious about what they think of me. Other people's opinions, I'm angry because they cut me off in traffic. Another person's action, we are handing the remote control to our inner peace to every external event and every other person in the world. And then we're shocked when we feel powerless and anxious. Epictetus says this is the root of all our suffering. He writes, happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one principle: some things are within our control, and some things are not. The rain is not in your control. Whether you carry an umbrella is. Your happiness was never about stopping the rain, it was about remembering you have an umbrella. So, the first practice, the first step towards this unshakable happiness, is to catch yourself when you're worrying or getting upset about something in that right-hand column. And to ask one simple question: is this within my control? If the answer is no, the Stoic response is not to despair. It's to let it go. To consciously release it. To say, this is not my burden to carry. My energy is precious, and I will not spend it here. Your goal is to move from being a reactor to being an actor. To stop being a puppet jerked around by external strings, and to start being the puppeteer of your own mind. But this is just the foundation. The first move. The next step is how we work with the things that are in our control. And this is where it gets really powerful. The tool, your judgment. Epictetus didn't have one of these. But he understood how it works better than we do. He said, it's not things that disturb us, but our judgments about things. Think of your mind as a screen. External events are just data, neutral, meaningless ones and zeros. Your judgment, your perception, is the software that takes that data and turns it into a picture, a story, with sound and color and emotion. The event is the same. The judgment is different. Therefore, the outcome, your emotional reality, is completely different. The secret isn't to change the world, it's to change your operating system. To upgrade your judgment software. Epictetus gives us a manual for this. He says we must practice the discipline of assent. That's a fancy way of saying, pause before you react. Between any event and your response, there is a space. In that space is your power to choose your response. The goal of a Stoic is to widen that space. Ugh, this email is so infuriating. It's going to ruin my day. Wait. Is this within my control? The sender's words are not. My reaction is. What is my judgment here? I'm judging this as a catastrophe and a personal attack. Is it? Or is it just a poorly worded request? My goal is to be effective, not to be upset. So my response will be calm and clear. That tiny pause is a superpower. It's the difference between being the skier who is jerked around by every bump on the slope, and the skier who anticipates the bumps and uses them to their advantage. This is mental martial arts. You're using the energy of the outside world and redirecting it towards your own purpose, rather than letting it knock you over. And this leads us to the ultimate application of this philosophy. The thing that makes it not just a theory, but a tool for incredible resilience. The practice, turning obstacles into fuel. Remember, this man was a slave, crippled, and exiled. He had every reason in the world to be bitter, to complain, to see himself as a victim. He didn't. Why? Because of another incredible Stoic concept, later perfected by Marcus Aurelius: the obstacle is the way. Epictetus said, every difficulty in life presents us with an opportunity to turn inward and to invoke our own inner resources. And he gave his students a mental exercise that is, frankly, genius. It's called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. It sounds pessimistic. It's not. It's the ultimate vaccine against anxiety and disappointment. It's not about fearing the worst, it's about mentally rehearsing it so it loses its power to shock you. Here's how it works. Instead of hoping your day will go perfectly, your commute will be smooth, your meeting will be easy, your plans will work out, you do the opposite. You take a moment in the morning and you say, today, I might get stuck in traffic. My colleague might be difficult. The project might hit a snag. It might rain on my picnic. You're not doing this to become sad. You're doing it for two reasons: to accept. By visualizing it beforehand, you accept the possibility. When it happens, it's not a shocking violation of how the world should be. It's just how the world is. Your peace isn't shattered. To prepare, more importantly, you can now ask the most important question: if that happens, what is the best version of myself going to do about it? You're no longer a passive victim of circumstance. You are a problem solver waiting for a problem. You are an actor waiting for a scene. That difficult colleague. An opportunity to practice patience and clear communication. That traffic jam. An opportunity to listen to an audiobook or sit in silence with your thoughts. The cancelled flight. An adventure, a story to tell, a chance to be flexible. You stop seeing things as obstacles to your happiness and start seeing them as the very path to your happiness. Because happiness isn't the absence of problems, it's the confidence that you can handle them. It's the pride you feel in your own resourcefulness and character. This is how a slave could be freer than his master. This is how an exile could build a legendary school. They stopped asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and started asking, "What can I do with this?" Bringing it all together, and the invitation, so, let's bring it all together. The 2,000-year-old secret to happiness, from the former slave Epictetus, is this three-part system: the foundation, practice the dichotomy of control. Relentlessly ask, is this within my power? Invest your energy only in what is, your judgments, your actions, your character. The tool, master your judgments. Remember, it's not the event, but your story about the event that causes suffering. Widen the space between stimulus and response. Choose your story wisely. The practice, use the obstacle is the way. Premeditate challenges not to fear them, but to disarm them and to find the opportunity hidden within them. Turn every setback into fuel for your growth. This isn't a magic pill. Epictetus would be the first to say this. He called it a discipline. You don't read about it once and become enlightened. You practice it. You fail. You get back up. You practice again. It's like going to the gym for your mind. The goal is not to become a famous philosopher. It's to become the hero of your own life. To be the calm in the chaos. To be the one person who isn't frantic, who isn't easily offended, who is resilient, resourceful, and truly, deeply capable of joy, not because their life is perfect, but because their mind is trained. Outro and call to action. So, what's one tiny thing you can do today? Just one. The next time something frustrating happens, you spill your coffee, someone is rude to you, you get bad news, I want you to try it. Pause. Take a breath. And ask Epictetus's two questions: is this within my control? What is my judgment about this? That pause, that moment of awareness, is the first step on a 2,000-year-old path. A path walked by slaves and emperors alike. A path that leads to a freedom that no one and nothing can ever take from you. If you want to walk further down that path, I've left links in the description below to a modern, easy-to-read translation of Epictetus's works, often called The Art of Living or the Enchiridion, which just means handbook. But you don't need to buy anything. The entire philosophy is right here. Your practice begins with your very next thought. Thank you for watching. If this resonated with you, share this video with one person you think might need to hear this message. And let me know in the comments, what's one thing you often worry about that is actually outside of your control? Acknowledging it is the first step to letting it go. I'll see you in the next one. Scene end.